Bo Fehrenbach.
This is my D.A.R.E essay. In D.A.R.E, I learned how to deal with stressful and difficult situations involving drugs and bullying. The first thing that I improved my knowledge on was making safe and responsible choices. Making the best responsible and safe choice includes narrowing down your options to the positive and negative consequences. You can always stop and think about what you need to do to make the right choice. Another thing we learned in D.A.R.E was the communication styles and how much of a difference they can make. The best communication style to use is confident. When you speak confidently, your tone is demanding, but not enough to affect someone's feelings in a harsh way. Communicating effectively would be having a conversation by looking the listener in the eye in a straightforward body position. Lastly, I learned that bullying has an effect on everybody around the incident. I realized that bullying is not just pushing and shoving, but excluding people from games or calling people mean names as well. Also, when you are a bystander to bullying, you should always tell a trusted adult if you see bullying instead of standing there and doing nothing. Due to D.A.R.E classes, it'll be a lot easier to decide what to do when I'm in a sticky situation, how to do something, and who to tell. Officer LeCompte and the D.A.R.E lessons stored a special skill set, or toolbox, in my mind for future situations in my life. I learned how to use a DDMM, or a D.A.R.E decision-making model, to help me make better decisions in risky situations. My model will help me through tough choices that I have to make, and especially choices involving drugs. The first two steps on my DDMM are to define the situation and assess the options that I have to make. When I define, I filter out the real problem and find out what is happening. About a week ago, I was trying to decide if I could take the trash out or keep playing video games, which brought me back to my D.A.R.E model. The third and fourth steps are to respond and evaluate your answer. When you respond, you have decided on what you think is the best possible outcome for you. After I made the poor decision to keep playing video games, I evaluated my decision. I went back and reflected on my decision, asking myself if it was the best possible option. I then realized that unfortunately it was not the best decision. I won't always need to take my motto everywhere I go, because that knowledge is already stuck with me and will always be there in tough situations. The last important thing that D.A.R.E has taught me is how I will use my valuable toolbox with enough knowledge to get me through most of my early life, while I'm still not the smartest person. Using my DDMM, I can make choices thinking about the consequences a lot easier. If I ever get into a situation that involves drugs, I will know how to go about it and finish by evaluating. As a class, we even did acts together as if we were in a situation involving a quick decision. Having a real-life taste of what it's like in those potentially harmful situations will really help me in the real world. We acted as the bad smokers and the objectors, which was not only fun, but also taught me what to do in those situations later on. Finally, I can use the things I learned in D.A.R.E in my everyday life. Officer LeCompte talked about different types of communication, which doesn't exactly link with our other lessons, but to things we do very commonly without a big thought process. Also, I can deal with stress better because I learned what to do when something as easy as getting up and talking to your classmates gets stressful. My D.A.R.E lesson will always stick with me, going through harmful situations, not so harmful situations, and basic everyday tasks. Thank you, Officer LeCompte and the rest of the D.A.R.E program, for giving me this opportunity to fill my mind with facts I will need throughout the rest of my time as a child and teenager.
As you can see, based on our first essay, pretty impressive.